Hello, and welcome to the very first Chagrin Backstage, where we dive a little deeper into Chagrin Valley Little Theater's wonderful talent from upcoming shows. With us today is a favorite of ours, Brian Westerley, who plays Matt, the lead in Matt's First Real Thanksgiving.
Hi, everybody. You're probably wondering why I look like this. And since theater's been shut down since March, I had to find a new source of income. So I started a fight club out behind the theater. So this is what happens when you do that.
And you lose, apparently.
And you lose. No, this is me winning. So that's how bad. So just imagine how bad the other guy looks.
Right.
But seriously, I had surgery this past Thursday to correct a deviated septum so I can breathe and I won't snore and it'll be wonderful. So sorry for looking like I am in a fight club.
No, this is wonderful. Thank you for making an appearance, even though you do appear this way. Yeah. Well, let's start with the softball. How did you start in theater?
Well, if you ask my mother, she will tell you that I came out of the womb being theatrical. When I was a kid, I used to put on these little plays for my family at Christmas and Easter, Thanksgiving. I'd write these little things and create these little people and put them on stick figures and run them around and tell stories.
A writer as well, and director, not just acting, all the way down.
Writer, director, actor, producer, I did it all. And started working at community theater after that, and then I moved to LA for 5 years and learned how to direct out there. And then I moved back here, and I've been bouncing between here and New York. I go to New York and as much as I can, and I've done a few things there, and I do stuff here. And with the pandemic, I've been able to direct kind of all over the place because everything's on Zoom.
Right.
And direct a show in Cincinnati while I'm sitting in the living room.
How'd you get involved with Matt's First Real Thanksgiving?
The writer, Brandi, is a really good friend of mine. And this would have been summer of 2017, I think, 3 years ago. A mutual friend of ours was giving me a ride home from rehearsal one night, a different show at a different theater. And she was telling me this wacky story about her family and their holidays. And I said, this sounds like a play and you should tell Brandi. So she can write it, so then I can direct it. So I put her together with Brandi, and she told Brandi the story. And then Brandi took it and flipped it and tossed it and changed this and threw this out and put this in and added this and did all kinds of stuff and came up with a 10-minute version of Matt's Thanksgiving. And from there, it just snowballed. It was so popular when we performed it. The audiences liked it so much. I said, you should think about making this longer, adapting this out. She's like, oh, I've never written a full-length play before. And I said, so what? Do it.
Right. Make it down.
It's the worst thing that can happen. Somebody can perform it somewhere.
Right. So you had no intention of acting in it. You were more thinking directing.
Right. And my goal was to direct the 10-minute version and maybe anything else that came out of it. But I had a cast. I had every part cast except for the part of Matt. And I couldn't find anybody to do it. I thought, well, fine. It's a 10-minute play. I can just step in and do it for 10 minutes. It's not going to be a big deal. And here we are 3 years later, and you're going to watch me in a full-length version of this show playing Matt.
How many times have you played Matt?
5 major times over the last few years. I'm the only one who's done it. There's never even been somebody else that has read in for me at any point.
That's awesome. What I'm guessing friends and family have seen the show at some point or another. What's some feedback that you've gotten from them?
Oh, you're playing yourself. That's nice. As the actors were developing the characters, she was developing the characters with the actors. So it was a real collaborative. She's like, oh, I see how Adrian is reading these lines as Becky. Well, let me write this line kind of in her voice. So when she says it, it makes sense and it really rings true for her.
Besides, obviously, yourself, who would you think the audience is absolutely going to love in this performance?
Oh, they always love Grandma. They love Grandma more than they love Matt. No, and Matt's just, I'm the straight man in the show because everything happens to me. And Grandma's the fun one with the one-liners and the sarcasm and every audience that when we ask them afterwards, okay, who was your favorite? What did you like? What didn't you like? Oh, I loved Grandma. And we're talking 13-year-olds all the way up through 83-year-old. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can't compete with grandma.
The characters were all right in front of you right now. Which one would you pick to say is the most like their character?
The actor that's the most like their character.
No brainer.
Well, yeah, we're all like I said, she kind of wrote it with each actor, but yeah, mine is pretty much some of the lines I say are actually things I say in real life.
Did you enjoy acting with all the actors?
We've all played the characters since the very beginning, since the very first 10-minute play. So we're like Rachel refers to me as her baby boy.
Yeah. You're all like family. Like
yeah, at this point, we're all friends. Like Tom, who plays Dad, he came in a little bit later, but he's my theater dad and has been since the last 15 years. So yeah, we're all pretty much family in real life.
It's very nice when you get along with those you work with.
Oh, yeah.
Any words of wisdom for when we sit down to watch this, or what to watch out for?
Just enjoy it. I mean, we're in the middle of this, whatever the hell is going on in the world right now. Just take those 2 hours and just forget about it.
Yeah.
Get it out of your head and just enjoy.
It's definitely enjoyable. I think everyone will have a good time. Get some popcorn going and just sit back and relax.
Or make your own Thanksgiving dinner and watch it. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah. Thank you very much for appearing today. We appreciate it. I enjoyed the show, and I'm sure everybody else will as well. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.